Hey guys, Matt here, bringing you episode 2 of the Naughts and Crosses game development series. So what we're going to do this time is we're going to actually create our play method. So what this is going to require is we're going to need to create a current player. We're going to need to create the check win method, and we're going to have to create a method to attempt to change it. So what we're going to do is up here, underneath our J button and our grid, we're going to say public int, which is going to be an array, which is going to be our board, equals new int 9. And then we're going to create a boolean for 1, boolean 1 equals false. And public int current player equals 1. Okay, so what we can do with that is we're going to use the current player to change which player is actually being played. What we're going to say in here is if attempt change, and the parameter is going to be ID, then that's going to be a successful move. So now we need to create the attempt change method. So public boolean attempt change int square. Why is that throwing an error? I've misspelled it. Okay. So attempt change int ID. So what we're going to return from the attempt change is whether or not the tile or the square selected is actually free. So if board square doesn't equal 0, return false. Return true. So just above return true, we're going to say board square equals current player. Okay, so if we just tidy that up slightly. Okay, we will actually add one more method in here, but that's when we've actually created our image icons, which don't exist yet, so there's no point. So if we come back up here to play, once we've actually played the move, we can say the current player needs to swap. So current player equals current player is equal to 1 question mark 2 colon 1. Now all that basically is a single line statement that says if the current player is equal to 1, then the current player is equal to 2, else it's equal to 1. So that's about 4 lines of if statements in a single line. So it just tidies up the code a bit. So what we need to do now is run check-win. Clearly we've not actually got anything to do with the check-win yet. So we will actually need to fix that. So once we've done the check-win, if we can't actually move, then it's an invalid move, so there's no point doing anything really. So what we need to make is our check-win. Now the check-win is actually going to be a fairly large method because it's going to include a lot of if statements. It's actually going to include 8, I believe, one after the other. So public void check-win. Check-win. Okay. If board 0 equals board 1 and board 1 equals board 2 and board 2 doesn't equal 0, win 0. So just create a method here, public void win int square. Okay, so we can actually we'll just tidy this up. Win 0. Okay, so we'll copy this method. So 1 2 to start with, and we can just go through and change the values. So here it's going to be 3 equals 4, and 4 equals 5, and board 5 doesn't equal 0. And then here it's going to be 8. 8 equals 7, and 7 is equal to 6. So what this is doing is it's going to be checking the horizontal win conditions of our board. So actually inside these if statements we also need to update the win condition to win 5 and win 8 for the 2 extra statements. So as these are checking the horizontal, so if a horizontal row's got a line of 3 in it, that is going to win it. So now we need to do the vertical. So if we just copy and paste that entire segment, just create a little line break here to show us the difference between them. Okay, so what we're going to want to do for this line is board 0 equal to board 3, and board 3 is equal to board 6, I believe. Yes, 6. And board 6 doesn't equal 0, then win 6. Okay. Now we're going to do board 1 equals board 4, board 4 equals board 7, and board 7 doesn't equal 0, then win 7. Now the final one is going to be win 8, and it's going to be board 2 equals board 5, board 5 equals board 8, and board 8 doesn't equal 0. So that's our vertical win conditions as well. So that's going to check the vertical rows to see if we've actually got a win. Get rid of one of them, go down here and add the extra line. There we go. So that's going to check to see if we've got a win there. So there's only one other way you can win in noughts and crosses, and that's the diagonals. So if we'll just copy just copy 2 of these statements and put them here. Now the top one is going to be if board 0 equals board 4 and board 4 equals board 8, then and board 8 doesn't equal 0, then win with condition 8. And then the other one will be if board 6 equals board 4 and board 4 equals board 2. And board 2 doesn't equal 0, then win condition 2. So what each of these statements is doing is it's checking our integer array, which we've created here, which is going to be our board, which is going to be by default 0. It's making sure that each one of those cells in the win conditions is equal to each other, and that they aren't equal to 0. Because if they're equal to 0, then nobody's actually moved. Okay, for int I board for int I equals 0, I is less than board.length I plus plus. What we're going to do here is the draw condition. So if no square on the board is equal to 0 and we haven't won, then we've drawn. So if board I equals 0, return. Just exit the method. And then here, if not won, draw. Okay. So we need to create a method down here called draw. So public void draw. Okay, we'll end it there. So in the next The next method, or next episode, we're going to just finish it off. We're going to add images to our buttons. We're going to have a graphical display as to who's got which square. And we're going to add the ability to exit, restart, draw, win, etc.